Brandon Aiyuk's time with the San Francisco 49ers appears to be over. After months of public feuds, social media attacks, contract drama, and reports of growing tension inside the locker room, the relationship between Aiyuk and the organization finally reached a breaking point. Some even believe clashes with teammates during training were part of the reason things spiraled so badly. Here's what's happening. Let's start right here, right now, because what Aiyuk just did is something you almost never see in professional sports. The receiver has posted multiple videos on social media over the past 3 weeks, and in his most recent one, he made it very clear where he wants to play next season. He didn't hint at it. He didn't drop a cryptic caption. He looked directly into the camera and said what he said. "I had a great Father's Day," Aiyuk said, "and before I lay down and go to bed tonight, I just want to say go Commanders. Go Commanders, man. Go Commanders. Raise hell. Take command." A player, still under contract, with another NFL franchise, doing a rival team's chant on Instagram. That happened. It's not often, if ever, that you see a player under contract with one NFL team make a video where he's actively doing another team's chant, and it gives you a good idea of just how ugly things have gotten between Aiyuk and the 49ers. And this wasn't even the most aggressive thing he posted. A couple of weeks before the Go Commanders video, Aiyuk went on Instagram and made his feelings about the organization crystal clear. He said the 49ers were mad they gave him a $120 million extension. "You want to know why they really mad though," he said. "They mad cause they stupid, they dumb. They mad that they paid me $50 million in 8 months and then voided my guarantees for 2026. And I'm about to be on a new team in 2026. They mad at themselves for real. They acting like they mad at me, but they stupid ass mad at themselves." He deleted the videos eventually, but as his latest social media post shows, he's clearly not done taunting the team. Then he posted another one. Aiyuk's latest Instagram story was a picture of Mark Rypien after the Redskins won the Super Bowl in 1992, tagged with the Commanders hashtag, posted on June 22, 2026. Each one more pointed than the last. Each one a message to the 49ers, "Release me." And the 49ers, they haven't done it yet. The 49ers and Aiyuk are still at a standstill. The team isn't willing to release him, and the player hasn't attempted to report to the Niners facilities. So here he is, posting videos, taunting his employer, doing chants for the Washington Commanders, waiting, with a caption that reads, "If you scared, just say dat." Aiyuk spent the bulk of one video describing an unspecified entity as little boys and female dogs who are afraid. He never explicitly mentions the 49ers by name, but a logical interpretation is that he believes the team is afraid to release him because he could land elsewhere and eventually make them regret letting him go. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because for everything Aiyuk is doing out there in public, George Kittle, one of the most respected voices in that locker room, has been watching all of it. And his response? It wasn't what you'd expect from a teammate defending a guy he called a friend. Kittle joked that he wouldn't be happy either after a team paid me $130 million, but then added about the Commanders or any other team taking a chance on Aiyuk. But you guys have fun with that, I guess. You have fun with all that comes with it. That's a teammate essentially telling Washington, good luck, you're going to need it. After the latest video from Aiyuk, Grant Cohn of 49ers on SI shared his take saying, "It just is one of two things happening right now. One could be that he's in the process of getting released by the 49ers. So it's possible that all of that's in motion and he's over there. And he's not going to report to the Niners, and they don't want the circus. He'll be there for day one of Washington Commanders camp." And the broader league, one longtime NFL executive told insider Jason LaCanfora, "I think they're finally done with him," but added that his own team would pass on Aiyuk, even at the veteran minimum. "We don't need that here." So that's where we are. A receiver publicly begging a team to cut him. His own teammate essentially warning other franchises about the drama they'd be inheriting. And an entire organization frozen, not because they want him, but because cutting him is its own complicated mess. To understand how we got here, you have to go back to the moment Aiyuk and the 49ers signed what looked like a peace deal. A deal that from practically the first day was never really peace at all. The rift dates back to 2024, when Aiyuk demanded a trade, sat out the offseason program, and staged a training camp hold-in before signing a 4-year, $120 million contract extension on August 29. Let's sit with that for a second. A hold-in, not a holdout, where you don't show up at all, but a hold-in, where you show up and just refuse to participate. He was present, right there on the field, in the building, just not actually doing anything. It was a protest measured in feet, not miles. Throughout the 2024 training camp, Aiyuk and the 49ers engaged in a contentious contract negotiation, in which Aiyuk requested a trade after taking to social media multiple times to voice his displeasure. The Niners actually tried to grant that trade request, only for Aiyuk to use his contract leverage to kill those offers. At the time, it seemed like the right amount of money might buy happiness for both parties. Back in June 2024, Aiyuk had already told Jaden Daniels, his college quarterback, that the 49ers didn't want him back. That was the public declaration, the war cry. And then the 49ers blinked. That negotiation didn't end until late August, when Aiyuk agreed to a 4-year, $120 million deal, a contract that has essentially haunted the 49ers since the day it was signed. At the time it was announced, it was the second largest contract in franchise history, a reward for a player who had just come off a monster 2023 season. That 2023 season saw Aiyuk catch 75 passes for 342 yards and 7 touchdowns, earned second-team All-Pro honors, and helped the 49ers reach Super Bowl LVY. That was the version of Aiyuk the 49ers were paying for. That was the player they thought they were locking in. What happened almost immediately after the ink dried should have been the first warning sign. Just weeks after Aiyuk signed, he and Kyle Shanahan had an awkward public exchange on the practice field on Sept 27, 2024, when Aiyuk wore red shorts, when the rest of the team was wearing the required black ones. Aiyuk was seen taking the shorts off on the field and kicking them. As he changed into the correct ones, that it happened publicly after he signed the contract was a signal that all was not well despite the new deal. Red shorts, on the practice field, in front of the cameras. A week after getting $120 million. That's not an accident. That's a statement. Aiyuk then struggled on the playing field. He was averaging just 58.5 yards per game with no touchdowns in the first 6 weeks. Then, he suffered a devastating knee injury on October 20, ending his season. Less than 2 months of subpar play after signing, he tore the ACL, MCL, and meniscus in his right knee, ending his season entirely. And right there, in that moment, on that field in October 2024, is where things really unraveled. Because the knee injury wasn't just a physical blow. It created a financial time bomb, a contract already built on shaky ground, a relationship already straining under its own weight. And now, suddenly, months of rehab ahead, with $120 million hanging over everyone's head, and a locker room that had no idea how dark things were about to get. If you run the numbers, the Niners will have paid out more than $48 million for just 7 games and 25 catches across 2 seasons. 7 games, 25 catches, $48 million. That's what the peace deal cost them. Here's what makes this story genuinely strange. It wasn't a dramatic explosion. There was no screaming match in a front office. No leaked locker room brawl. What happened instead was quieter, and in some ways far more unsettling. Aiyuk just started disappearing. As Kittle described it on a podcast appearance, the last time I saw Aiyuk, he was kinda at training camp. Kinda not, and then he was in and out of the building throughout the first couple of weeks. That word kinda is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, because when you're rehabbing from a torn ACL on a $120 million contract, you probably shouldn't be kinda at training camp. Aiyuk was around the facility early in the season, sort of. He was not in the locker room, not in the training room. He would come in, do his rehab work in the weight room, and leave. Kittle, who built a habit of going out early before meetings, specifically to watch Aiyuk work out, noticed something was off. Kittle recalled, "The last time I saw Aiyuk was, call it week 6, 7, or 8. I don't really know. I used to make it a habit of mine to go out early in the morning before meetings, to watch him train, because he'd always be out there early, and I watched him run over 22 miles an hour and stop on a dime." Physically, by Kittle's account, Aiyuk looked like himself, running over 22 miles per hour. The body was there. The body was working. But then came the report that changed everything. In November, The Athletic reported that the 49ers were frustrated with Aiyuk for failing to attend team meetings and a general lack of communication. This reportedly caused the organization to void the $27 million in guaranteed money in Aiyuk's contract for 2026. Shanahan's public response was measured, but notably defensive. "Yeah, he's missed them," Shanahan said of Aiyuk in team meetings. "But people on our team have missed meetings before. That doesn't have anything to do with his contract. The denial was almost too precise, because whether or not the missed meetings triggered the void happened. And those two facts existing side by side tell their own story. From that point forward, everything changed. Communication reportedly broke down. Shanahan acknowledged difficulty reaching Aiyuk. Kittle never saw him again. The situation went from strained at best to completely non-existent. The Athletic reported that the 49ers and Aiyuk were headed toward a separation because Aiyuk had failed to attend meetings and declined to participate in other team activities, leading to increased frustration within the organization over his lack of communication. Think about what that looks like from inside a locker room. You have a player who just signed one of the biggest deals in franchise history. He tears his knee, he starts rehabbing, then slowly the sightings get rarer. Then the news drops. The team voided his guaranteed money. And then the guy just stops coming in altogether. According to Kittle, there wasn't a dramatic blow-up or singular breaking point. Instead, it was gradual and constantly compounding. Aiyuk was around, not always consistently, but enough to avoid raising major red flags. He was in meetings at times, in the building, even working through rehab, until suddenly he wasn't. He literally just stopped showing up. He stopped showing up for rehab. The 49ers voided guaranteed money in his contract, and he later cut off contact with the team. Aiyuk opened the 2025 season on the physically unable to perform list and never played, with San Francisco placing him on the reserve left squad list in December 2025. The decision to void the guarantees, which cost Aiyuk more than $25 million, didn't become public until November 2025. And critically, Aiyuk had a window to fight it. He had 50 days from when his guarantees were voided to file a non-injury grievance through the NFLPA, which would have allowed him to challenge the club's decision. He did not file. He didn't fight the void. He didn't sue. He just walked away. And when you choose not to fight $25 million in a grievance process, that tells you something about the state of mind of the person walking away. Kittle is one of the most plugged-in voices in that locker room. If he didn't have answers, the picture was genuinely murky. And that murk, that silence, is what defines the middle chapter of this whole saga. Not a fight, not a blow-up, just a very expensive ghost haunting the hallways of a facility he stopped walking through. Here's where the 49ers side of this story gets uncomfortable, because they're not exactly the innocent party in all of this either. In January 2026, John Lynch put the final nail in the coffin for Aiyuk's time in San Francisco. The 49ers general manager made it clear that Aiyuk had played his last snap for the franchise. That's about as definitive as a statement gets in the NFL. Played his last snap, we're done, it's over. Except it's not over, because Aiyuk is still technically a 49er. The 49ers, even after taking measures to void the guaranteed money owed to him in 2026, have yet to release the former All-Pro. Aiyuk missed the entire 2025 season due to injury, his first after signing his extension. But in the eyes of the NFL, they are very much still together. So why haven't they just cut him? It's not sentiment, it's money. And more specifically, it's cap math. Since we're beyond June 1, San Francisco can trade or release Aiyuk without incurring a massive dead salary cap hit up front. While a swap is likely out of the question due to scheduled cap hits of more than $40 million over the next 2 seasons, cutting the former first-round pick would allow both sides to get a fresh start. As Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk explained, the 49ers have been squatting on Aiyuk's rights, with the goal of engineering a trade. If Aiyuk shows up when training camp opens, the only move may be to cut him. If he practices with the 49ers, a season-ending injury would put the team on the hook for more than $26 million. As it currently stands, the 49ers owe him nothing. That's the trap. As long as Aiyuk stays away from the building, the 49ers sit on his rights, pay him nothing, and wait for a trade that isn't coming. The moment he walks through those doors and suits up, they're potentially on the hook again for a catastrophic injury insurance bill. The only way he's going to get released is if he actually shows up for practice. As long as he stays away from the team, the 49ers can continue to do nothing, so they have no reason to release him right now. Think about that dynamic. The 49ers need him to show up so they can cut him. Aiyuk needs to show up and potentially fight his way into a release to get to the team he actually wants to play for. And for months, he's just been posting on Instagram instead, which, as it turns out, might be exactly the strategy. The 49ers canceled their mandatory minicamp this month, the one off-season session players are required to attend. That's not a coincidence. That's a team trying to avoid a confrontation that forces their hand before they're ready. As LaCanfora wrote, the 49ers canceled their recent mandatory minicamp, which would have brought the situation to a head, but there is every expectation now that he will be released before the start of training camp. And on the trade front, there was some speculation that the 49ers might trade Aiyuk, but his trade value is almost zero at this point. According to NFL Network, the Commanders don't have much interest in a possible trade, but they would likely kick the tires on Aiyuk if he were released. The move, when it comes, would cap a protracted and increasingly personal standoff between Aiyuk and the team that drafted him 25th overall in 2020. San Francisco is not expected to recoup anything of value for the veteran receiver, who now appears headed for free agency. If the situation reaches training camp without resolution, Aiyuk would face fines of up to $50,000 for every day he fails to report, and won't count towards San Francisco's 90-man roster. So you have this bizarre Mexican standoff. The 49ers can't easily cut him without him showing up. He won't show up without knowing he'll be cut. And meanwhile, the clock is ticking toward late July, when training camp opens, and this whole thing finally has to come to a head one way or another. Shanahan summed up the 49ers' posture as recently as the league meetings in Phoenix. I don't have a date for it, but I know eventually it'll resolve itself. Hopefully, we could get something for him, and I know we're in no rush to do that. No rush. That's the 49ers' position. While Aiyuk films himself doing Commanders chants on Father's Day, no rush. So this all points somewhere. It always pointed somewhere. And that somewhere has a name: Washington. The Washington Commanders loom as the most likely destination. Quarterback Jayden Daniels, who played with Aiyuk at Arizona State in 2019, has publicly floated a reunion, and Commanders general manager Adam Peters worked in the 49ers front office when they drafted Aiyuk in 2020. That's two connection points right there. The quarterback he grew up playing with in college, and the front office executive who knew him as a prospect and believed in him enough to draft him. For a player who wants out, that's not just a landing spot, that's a home. One reason Aiyuk would prefer to be in Washington is because the Commanders' quarterback is Jayden Daniels, who just happens to be his former teammate at Arizona State. Aiyuk wants to reunite with his college quarterback, and it looks like he's willing to create more drama until the 49ers either cut him or trade him. The Aiyuk sweepstakes has seemingly become a one-team race, as he continues to express his desire to land with Washington and reunite with Daniels. He actually presents a solid fit for that offense. His skill set complements star receiver Terry McLaurin, and his veteran presence would be a valuable addition to Washington's receiving core. Daniels actually backslid in 2025 after his Rookie of the Year campaign in 2024, in part due to a limited receiving core. McLaurin remains the alpha in the Washington passing offense, but behind him is a mix of players who haven't established themselves as consistent second options. Even a diminished Aiyuk could play a significant role as a downfield threat. Now, the question isn't really whether Aiyuk eventually lands in Washington. It's what shape he's in when he gets there. He hasn't played in a meaningful game since he suffered a serious knee injury in October 2024. The 49ers voided the remaining guaranteed money attached to his extension after he didn't participate in rehab sessions related to his setback. That's a lot of uncertainty packed into one player. A torn ACL, a torn MCL, a torn meniscus, a missed season, a voided guarantee, and a string of social media videos that have made him a polarizing figure around the entire league. It's been widely known throughout the league for quite some time that Aiyuk had no future with the 49ers, and any attempts to land anything for him have been undermined by his off-field behavior, including filming himself driving erratically and going well over the speed limit. It's always tough to evaluate how players that go through unique situations like this are viewed on the open market, but generally speaking, it seems fair to assume that Aiyuk won't be looked at as a top-tier, multi-year guarantee option in free agency. There are certainly concerns about his demeanor and overall health at this point, and his next team will not be making any long-term commitment to him. With every expectation, he will soon be a free agent. But here's the other side of it, and this part matters. He accumulated 305 receiving yards and 25 touchdowns across 5 seasons in San Francisco, including back-to-back 1-0-yard campaigns. If he has made a full recovery from the knee injury, there will be teams willing to take the chance. Kittle, for all his subtle jabs about having fun with all that comes with it, was also the guy who used to wake up early just to watch Aiyuk work. And what he saw in those early mornings was a receiver who could still fly. During a June 22 appearance on Pardon My Take, Kittle said, "The last time I saw Aiyuk was, call it week 6, 7, or 8. I don't really know. I used to make it a habit to go out early in the morning, before meetings to watch him train, because he always got there early. I watched him run over 22 miles per hour and stop on a dime. A receiver running over 22 miles per hour and stopping on a dime. That's not a broken player. That's a player who physically had something left." The question was always whether the relationship around him was recoverable, and clearly it wasn't. According to NFL insider Jason La Canfora, the 49ers are expected to release Aiyuk before the start of training camp. That means he will be moved off in a little over a month, maybe less. The 49ers canceled their recent mandatory minicamp, which would have brought the situation to a head. But there is every expectation now that he will be released before the start of training camp. La Canfora wrote, "Multiple league sources told reporters that there is every expectation Aiyuk will be released before training camp opens in late July." On Tuesday, Aiyuk went on social media and insulted the club, saying that he wants to join a new team in 2027. But he doesn't want to wait until 2027. He wants out now. And everything he's done, the deleted videos, the chants, the cryptic captions, is pressure. Calculated pressure, designed to make staying more embarrassing for the 49ers than simply letting him walk. Lynch confirmed that the 49ers will be moving off Aiyuk this season after voiding his guarantees. And San Francisco quickly looked to upgrade the position by adding Mike Evans and Christian Kirk this offseason. The receivers room is already being rebuilt around his absence. The writing has been on the wall for months. Whatever the full story behind the scenes, the end result is clear. Aiyuk is done in San Francisco, and the 49ers appear more than ready to move forward without him, while still managing the leverage they do have over the situation. It's the kind of ending that leaves everyone looking a little bit bad. A franchise that paid $120 million and got 7 games, and a receiver who torched a relationship with one of the league's best coaching staffs, right when he needed them most. Both sides made this mess. Both sides will carry pieces of it with them going forward. Assuming he made a full recovery from his knee injury, he still carries some value as a gifted wide receiver who put together back-to-back 1-0-yard seasons and could make an immediate impact as a starter. Chances are Aiyuk will get his much-needed fresh start. It's just a matter of when and where. And based on everything happening right now, Washington looks like the answer to both of those questions. The question is whether Aiyuk and the Commanders can make it work without lighting that building on fire.